How did you become a lobster guy?
Very random. We wanted to get in the lobster roll business, and this is probably about 8 years ago. And
Wait a minute. 8 years ago, what? You're sitting in an office staring out a window and you say, I have to get into the lobster roll?
It was probably during lunch, having a lobster roll.
Okay.
And we began talking and saying you really couldn't get one in Midtown where I was working.
All right.
And then
what were you doing?
I was doing a retail leasing.
Okay.
And then the idea evolved into something more serious, like let's actually, go out there and see what we can do. And a couple trips to Maine, we realized that there's actually a way to make money bringing lobsters down and just selling them to restaurants.
Brian, when you put this thing together, did you think this was really going to happen? I mean, it's one thing to talk about having a lobster roll for lunch, but to go into the lobster business.
Well, one night in Maine, we were actually at a bar, and we just decided, we're going to go ahead and do this.
Right.
So the next day, drove back down. We found a warehouse in Queens.
Yeah.
And hired a couple guys to help us start building our first system.
Your first system. What is this? What does a lobster distributor system involve? What are some of the pieces that you have to deal with? And I know you got up at what time today? Like around 2 a.m.?
Yeah, a little before 3 actually. So it was late today. But, so first is the tanks. I mean, we need a place to hold all the supply. So our first warehouse, we held about less than 5,000 pounds of live lobster, and we've recently moved because the business grew so much to now we have tanks that can hold over 60,000 pounds at a time.
60,000 pounds. Now, Jordan, you're doing what? About sales of about 10 million, 2 million pounds of lobster last year. Where do you get this all from? Is this all from Maine?
It's all from Maine. We're happy about that. We think
you have to get up at what time in the morning?
Early in the morning.
Like,
we start around 2:30.
All right, 2:30. And in the days when would you drive up yourself to
We
Maine?
both started driving.
Okay.
We would head to the warehouse, make deliveries, and then go to Maine afterwards.
And how long is that trip for you?
Round trip's probably about 10, 11 hours.
10, 11 hours. And what's the lobster situation like? I mean, is it plentiful? Is it expensive?
There's a lot of lobster right now, and that's a result of overfishing. I think they overfished cod, and that's lobster's biggest predator.
So you take away the cod,
and
the lobster
you got plenty of lobster, yeah.
My goodness. All right, so, how many boats do you have sort of giving you these lobsters? How does it work?
Hundreds of boats, actually.
Hundreds of boats. They all know about you guys.
We make stops up and down the coast of Maine, so to get the volume that we move every week, it requires hundreds of boats.
Do you like lobster?
I do.
Good. I guess that's a good thing. Jordan, do you like lobster?
Yeah, I eat it almost every day.